Hi, how's it going? Are you an aspiring teacher who wanted to work in the United States? Then this video is for you. Today's content is about the common interview questions and answers specifically to Christian schools, but we can apply this as well to secular schools. But primarily, the questions is circling within biblical views and biblical concepts. So let's start. But before delving into the questions, I have two tips for you. If you have a Christian interview, first you must answer biblically. Every answer of yours must be related to what you believe on the Bible and must be related to biblical concepts. Second, you must answer experientially. That means your answer is based on your experience and not I will, but I did. So you are a teacher, of course. You know how to deal with students and you know how to deal with other people. So now let's go to possible questions. So this is not limited to the video. There are more questions. It depends on your employer, but these are the basic questions if you will have a Christian school interview. But I just want to give you background. Most of the time, there will be two interviews. First is a pre-interview, one-on-one interview with your principal, or with the principal, I mean. So if you pass that one-on-one interview, then you can proceed to the panel interview, more or less about 7 persons in the room. So there will be 2 interviews, and if you pass that, sometimes there will be demonstration or teaching demonstration. Most of the time, it's only interview, and then you will pass or you will be hired. So let's start. To begin with is the first question, basic. Tell me something about yourself. So your answer will revolve in your secular achievement and your ministry involvement. You will highlight what is your degree, what did you achieve in your schooling, and what you must highlight your ministry involvement. Make it to the point that you show that you are a genuine Christian and you are involved in the church. You may be an elder, you might be a worship leader, you might be teaching kids or Sunday school for kids or adults, or you might have a spiritual club in your school. Make it to the point that you highlight ministry over your secular achievement. All right. Next, share your salvation testimony. This is basic. You will show how are you saved, who are you in the past, and who are you now, and the ministry you are involved. Next, what is your philosophy of teaching? We know if we answer in a secular way, we always answer student-centered or constructivism or inquiry-based. Yes, you can tell this as well, but you emphasize your philosophy of Christian education. I know we are not using this. I do not know with preschool Christian schools, I mean, but you must highlight Christian education. That means you are teaching and integrating Christian values and beliefs in your teaching. For example, if you teach literature, then you involve Christian literatures and you elaborate Christian values within those stories that you will tell. Next, what is your classroom management? There are sample answers, but this must be connected to your biblical belief. To begin with is in the onset of the class, you set clear expectation. What are your rules? What are the routines? And you must involve the parents as well in setting clear expectations. What are the rules in consonance to the biblical view that is related to the biblical view. So here's a tip. Go to the website of the school and then find out there, or if there are student handbook, then try to read all those. There will be ways on how you will manage the classroom and ways to discipline the students. Of course, the first thing you need to do, I forgot to tell you, but you need to go to the website of the school. You need to delve into their mission and vision. Of course, all the vision and mission are centered on Christ and gospel, but you need to know the details about it. Okay? And part of classroom management is you value fellowship, you value relationship with each other, that you value the helping one another and encouraging one another. Part of the classroom management is also involving positive and negative reinforcement. When I say positive reinforcement, you praise the child, you encourage the child through giving praise or giving high grades, giving extra points. And negative reinforcement is closely related to punishments or consequences if there are issues or conflicts or rules that is not followed by the student or students. All right, in connection to classroom management, how do you discipline a student? If we answer it in a secular way, we answer to counsel the child and then allow the child to know his fault, but this is not how it works in a Christian school. You directly go or use the Matthew 18 principle. That means you try to connect with the child, go one-on-one with the student and show him or his fault or his or her fault, and then tell him or her to repent and ask for forgiveness to God. And then if he will not listen or she will not listen, then two parties are involved or two other staff are involved. It might be another teacher and the principal. And if he will not listen, then he will have consequences to that stipulated in the student handbook. But just a note, if you will discipline the students, you must directly contact the parents. Okay, so that's how important. That's how the parents' involvement is vital in the process. So what is the role of the parents? They are your partners. Partners in disciplining the child, partners in encouraging the child. So if you have concerns with the child, then you will contact directly the parents. You can email them because most of the time we use email in contacting the parents. So they are your partners, and you tell the parents that they must be involved, and they are just additional to rearing a child, but the first task of rearing a child are the parents. Next, how do you assess students? If you're a teacher, you are familiar with formative and summative assessments. That means you use quizzes in the formative assessment. In the summative, you use exams, and along the way there will be performance tasks and written quiz. And then if they did not meet the standard, then you will use reinforcement, or you will use additional information to see the progress of the child. So assessment is very important to see the progress of the child and what they lack, so that you can put or give extra effort in the concept that or competencies which are least seen or in their progress. Okay, so least learned competencies. And then if you know the least learned competencies, then you can address it with other strategies and other activities. Next, how do you teach your subject to through a biblical view. In a Christian education, it's not just teaching a subject, it's actually teaching a subject mirroring biblical concepts. For example, how do you teach history through a biblical view? You simply say, I teach history through God's sovereignty over events. That means you teach history and you tell the students that all these events are orchestrated by God and nothing is hidden, and God is not surprised to the events, and He is there along or within the events. So that's how important teaching is in a Christian education. You emphasize biblical view on specific subject. So that would be specific to your subject. If you're a science major, an English major, history, social studies, so on and so forth, be familiar with how you teach it in a biblical view. Alright? Next, how do you develop students' involvement? This is one of the problems in most of the schools, of course, not just in America. So there are ways to begin. Is you can employ games. You make it to the point that they will enjoy the learning. We use student-centered approach most of the time to catch their attention so that they will enjoy the learning. Next is you make relevant lessons. That means your lesson will be directed to what they want in the future. If they want to be an engineer, then make your lessons connected or make your lessons relevant and specific to what they will do in the future. And then acknowledge participation. You must always acknowledge them and praise them. Oh, thank you for your opinion. Okay, so that's how you deal and how you develop students' involvement. So basically, these are the basic questions in a Christian school, and you can actually use these questions in your secular interviews, but the Christian interviews is highlighting or integrating the biblical view. Alright, so I think you're ready for the interview. So just thank you so much for your time. Just contact me on a Facebook page or Facebook account. William Lozada Arenas Jr. And if I'm not that busy, I would love to answer and help you. And if you have further questions, you can ask me as well. And if you have further suggestions on what other videos I will make, then comment in the comment box. So thank you so much. Have a nice day and God bless you.